So you seriously think you've seen it all on the internet? I am here to say that you have not. Welcome back to another video. I have gone down the darkest conspiracy rabbit hole there is yet when it comes to celebrity secrets, and I have brought them here for us to watch today.
The most toxic food in the world, and we're still buying it. Farmed salmon. Worse than McDonald's. This is crazy. New reports coming out that worse than Taco Bell, worse than McDonald's, farmed salmon. This is salmon that you're buying at the grocery store. You're eating at restaurants, which is why when you go to a restaurant, you've got to ask, is this farmed salmon? Because it's toxic. It may taste great. It may be expensive. There's restaurants that have salmon on their menu where they're charging $20, $30, $40, $50 plus dollars, and it's farmed salmon. Yes, it has omega-3s, high in omega-3s. Still very, very toxic. New reports. This is not just like a one-time thing. Many reports and scientific documents showing that this is the reality of things, is that we need to take a step back and think about what we're eating. So there might be a restaurant that you're thinking about going to, or you're considering, you're at Costco or Sam's Club, and you're like, oh, wow, look at the deal on this. But you've got to make sure you see this is very important. You do not want your children eating food like this. I mean, it's obvious that that if someone goes to a McDonald's type place, which by the way, I haven't been in a decade, that you're consuming something that you shouldn't. Bad for you, right? People are aware with alcohol. That's why alcohol sales are way low. But something like farmed salmon, this is something you've got to tell. Make sure you share this with people that you love. This is very important information. You do not want people not knowing this. I share this information with everybody I possibly can. Make sure this follow button so we see each other again. This is part of our ongoing series. What's your take? Did you already know this? And what do you think is number 2? If farmed salmon's number 1, what's number 2? I'd love to hear what you have to say. This is part of our ongoing series, and I'll talk to you soon.
Was Greta Thunberg abused or tortured? Well, today she and 170 other activists detained by Israel were released. And in Greta's first remarks to the press, she said this.
And I could talk for a very, very long time about our mistreatment and abuses in our imprisonment, trust me, but that is not the story.
You see, about 2 days ago, one of the Turkish activists on board, who was also detained, claimed they dragged little Greta by her hair before our eyes, beat her and forced her to kiss the Israeli flag. They did everything imaginable to her as a warning to others. Another individual who was on the flotilla, who is a journalist, claimed that Greta was wrapped in the Israeli flag and paraded like a trophy. Also, according to an email sent by the Swedish Foreign Ministry, an official who had visited Greta in prison claimed that she was detained in a cell infested with bedbugs with too little food and water. Now, Israel have responded to these accusations, calling them fake news, and that all the legal rights of the participants in this PR stunt were and will continue to be fully upheld. So far, Israel has released 341 people who were on board the 42 boats, while another 138 activists still remain in detention in...
For you guys that are watching, do you guys know who she is? I remember seeing her a couple of years ago. She was an activist of some sort. Don't remember exactly about her that much, but wow, if she really went through that, who knows? Some are claiming it's true, some are saying it's false, but if she genuinely went through that, first of all, why isn't there an official statement? But if that's true, wow, we need to do something about this.
If you have ever ate this chicken from Costco, you might have salmonella. And I'm not kidding. They're literally getting sued right now for millions of dollars because they tested their chicken. There was a positive result on salmonella in their chicken. That's freaking disgusting. I don't know about you guys, but I literally eat it all the time in college and I'm so scared. But yeah, I literally filed for this lawsuit on the claimmoney.com website. Right here, it literally took 2 seconds. I'm literally gonna get money from this in compensation for eating their chicken and maybe getting salmonella. That's literally disgusting.
Creepy real photos that keep me up at night part 85. This photo was posted to Reddit with the caption, "My mom's goddaughter has been telling us about how she keeps feeling a presence in her apartment, and she can see a dark figure out of the corner of her eye often, especially when being alone at home." Well, she took a pic in her room, and this is what she caught. Follow for more creepy real photos.
So for some reason, it's become a trend to do the most unhinged dance, and it's called the sea lion. If you haven't heard, kids are doing this during class and are even doing it out in public. The dance originated from this viral video of a seal jumping up and down, so people thought it would be a good idea to replicate it. Now kids are doing this everywhere they go, and people are saying it just looks insanely wrong. I mean, it's bad when grown adults are now getting involved. Not to mention, the seal dance has many variations, but of course people chose to do the most out-of-pocket one. All I know is if you do this dance, your digital footprint will haunt you forever.
This is actually insane, but does everybody obviously remember that comet that everybody was losing their minds over, 3i Atlas? They're now saying that Comet 3i Atlas is only 8 days away from a Jupiter flyby that could literally crack it open. So NASA just officially pointed not only just the James Webb Space Telescope, but also Hubble and multiple Mars spacecraft at 3i Atlas. And they just confirmed that the comet is actually carrying water ice from another star, and it behaves identically to ours. They're saying that it not only has the same molecular bonds, but the same chemistry, the same everything else in between. That may officially mean that the ingredients for life are not unique to our solar system. They're possibly everywhere. Now, this is why the entire thing is about to get crazier, because on March the 16th, the comet is going to pass directly within 33 million miles of Jupiter. This will be a close enough pass for Jupiter's gravity to possibly fracture the nucleus and potentially crack it wide open, revealing what's actually inside the rock. NASA's Juno spacecraft is still orbiting Jupiter right now, and it might pass directly close enough to be able to capture the entire thing. So we're going to be able to see it. Guys, you need to make sure that you go ahead and add me on my page right now, because I'm going to post the moment and the very second that the results come in, whether they find something or not.
Is this plastic surgery, a clone, or a marketing stunt? Honestly, I feel bad if it was option one. I know I'm late, but let's talk about the whole Jim Carrey situation. I want to hear your thoughts. If you live under a rock and don't know what I'm talking about, Jim Carrey showed up to the 51st Caesar Awards in Paris, and people immediately felt like something was off. And not just the way he looked, but the way he was acting.
You know, I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced it like crazy. But
the internet started spiraling. People became convinced it wasn't actually him, and that a clone or a body double showed up instead. I feel like if it was a clone, it would look a lot more exact, because they would want to avoid attention and suspicion. Then makeup artist Alexis Stone, who's known for extreme prosthetics and celebrity transformations, posted these photos implying that they were the one at the event. But I think they were just hopping on a trending moment, because there hasn't been any further proof. Some people believe it really was Jim Carrey, but that he was wearing prosthetics himself, either as a statement about plastic surgery and Hollywood vanity, or as a way to hint at a possible remake or sequel to The Mask. There's also other people that believe he's been brainwashed and just turned into a Hollywood propaganda machine. It's spiraling. What we do know for sure is that both Jim Carrey's team and the award show confirmed that he was physically there. So maybe he's just had work done? People find it hard to believe because of things he said in the past, and the way that he's distanced himself from the spotlight.
There's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join. And here I am. There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
There's just things happening.
It doesn't line up with how he's talked about Hollywood for years.
Kidnapping children is not what great nations do. We in America are misinformed. Reality shows have warped our idea of what a hero is, or what the truth is.
Now that the buzz has died down a little, let me know what you guys think is really going on in the comments.
Well, the woman who fired at Rihanna's home has made a plethora of videos in the past, despising Rihanna, hating on Rihanna, and spiritually speaking some crazy things about Rihanna. Let's get into it. So the woman who fired at Rihanna's home has been identified as Ivana Lisset Ortiz, who was a 35-year-old woman. She was arrested on the spot, and her bail sits at $10.2 million. But nobody knew why she committed such an act. Well, these videos show otherwise. In these videos, she's spiritually speaking a lot of crazy things about Rihanna. I'm not sure if she's having visions and using the devil against her. Watch these videos.
And Rihanna, when you die, God is taking me to my future. You want to kill me. The way that Rihanna wants to kill me, her spirit is in the spirit of the world, and it is very non-purposeful. Rihanna's over there, and she's there with the devil. They don't want me to get money. They don't want me to be successful. I made $3,000 one day on a day trade trading NVDA. And then Rihanna, she pops up in the spirit with the devil, and they're like, man, 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 man. And then they went over and they attacked a legal case. They went and attacked my lawyer, Jennifer Meister, and they took her spirit and her energy, and they were just right there. Like, I could see them vivid as day.
That's Satan. He just wants to keep something beautiful. Just like his Rihanna.
You guys need to wake up and don't give that girl any attention. They want to come over here and steal my thoughts.
What are your thoughts on this?
Songs that better be in the upcoming movie, The Backrooms. Hey guys, I'm gonna be honest, if we don't hear any of these songs that I'm gonna show you guys on the new Backrooms movie, it's gonna be a letdown. So let's start with the first song. The first one is Number by Temper Rocks. And if you listen to it, the song feels nostalgic, but also wrong, like a memory you can't fully remember. And that's exactly what the Backrooms is all about, you know what I'm saying, essentially. Next song that I wanna see in the upcoming Backrooms movie is Libets Delayed by The Caretaker. This song is honestly terrifying in its own way, cause like, it just gives you goosebumps when you listen to it. I'm gonna be honest, this song feels like an old memory slowly falling apart, which I think is very perfect for the Backrooms movie. Next we got got Warm Nights, which sounds calm at first, almost comforting, but that's what I think makes this song creepy. Just imagine this, a scene in the Backrooms movie. Imagine a character finding like a quiet, normal place, and then this song starts playing, and then they realize they're not alone. You know what I'm saying? So like Warm Nights should definitely be in the Backrooms movie, and if it's not, I'm gonna low-key be disappointed. And lastly, we got the Fallen Down song. I'm gonna be honest, this song will probably not be in the Backrooms movie because this song is tied to the game Undertales, and I'm pretty sure they're strict with their like songs. But I'm not gonna lie, if they play this song in the Backrooms movie, 10 out of 10 movie right away without even like trying. So yeah, guys, those are the movies I'm hoping to see in the new Backrooms movie.
Hermione Granger has a boyfriend, and it's not Ron Weasley. Allegedly, her boyfriend is a very, very, very wealthy Mexican businessman. I'm gonna butcher his name, sorry. It's Gonzalo Javia Baleares? He looks a little scary in this photo, but they were at the airport, they were booed up. And I love this for Emma because she actually did an interview a little while back saying that she doesn't have kids, she's not married. Societal pressures have made women feel like they need to be married in a relationship by the time they're like in their late 20s. She's 35 years old now, so we're loving that she found love. She didn't really let the societal pressures get to her, especially when she was younger. I mean, I feel like this is the first time she's ever spotted with a lover in public. So we love this for her. Good for her.
Take notes for when you meet your kid's future spouse. Ashley's dad is a divorce lawyer, and he gave us a masterclass on how to interrogate. This is something called the read technique, and you can actually use this in real life. What he's doing is he starts out by asking easy and normal questions to see how Alex answers the truth and tells real, true stories. Then, as he's asking harder questions, questions that Alex would potentially be lying about the answer, he is able to tell that Alex is lying.
I drilled down on Alex a little bit. He's impressive. Smart. I think he answered the questions that I asked him very well. Almost too well. Honesty's written all over your body. I'm not saying he is a bad person, but I don't think honesty is his strength.
People who lie talk too much, and Alex yapped. He also never pauses to think about any of the answers to the questions he's being asked. And like, if I was being asked some of these questions, I would have to like think about my answer for a second. I would have to like think about how I wanted to reply before I replied. Even if I was just like word vomiting, it's like very detailed questions. Weird things that he would know off the top of his head.
Well, let me ask you this, Alex.
Oh, lay it on me. What do we got?
Okay, all right.
What do we got?
What have you learned about Ashley? What did you study?
I was a communications major, then I went to finance right afterwards.
You studied finance or went into the field of
I
finance?
went into the field of finance right after.
Take me through the last 5 years, where you lived.
Chicago to Tampa. I did meet my father at 25 in Hong Kong.
How did that occur?
He left kind of before I was born. Started a second family in Australia, ended up in Hong Kong, married his translator, I started a third family there.
Were he and your mom married?
No, they never were.
How old were you when your mom remarried?
I was 2, I believe, at that time. Yeah, so
your stepfather has been your dad for most of your life?
Yeah.
Who's your male role model? Your grandfather?
Absolutely.
How old did your grandfather live to be?
67.
Oh, my.
Yeah, my grandmother passed early as well.
How long were they married?
50 plus years, I believe it was probably 53 realistically. But the
It's
story
not
with my
been that
aunt,
long.
it was.
He was 60 what when he died?
No, 67. I was told a 50-year marriage from my aunt.
Okay.
I don't know the
Golden
specific one.
anniversary.
And she fell in love with his voice over the phone.
Oh,
and they started dating after that.
Are
Exactly.
you making that up?
No.
Look at me right here. You making that up?
I got a text message from my
You
aunt.
look down and left.
I looked down and right. I don't know what that
You
means.
look that way.
I looked at the steak.
No, you look that way.
Did I? All right, maybe not. That's what my aunt told me, to be honest with you.
So what makes you think you can settle down? You're tired of moving? You still in the finance field?
I'm not. I do day trading on the side a little bit.
What do you day trade?
The Australian dollar to the US dollar.
How many trades do you make a week?
5 good ones a day.
You use a broker or do you do it yourself?
I do it myself.
Do you have any licenses right now?
So they've expired on my end because I wasn't sure I was going to go back into finance. I want to get into crypto as well.
What's the price of Bitcoin today?
About 100 grand. I don't know at the moment.
You trade no other currency?
Not at the moment, no.
Did you vote for Trump?
I didn't vote, but I would have voted for Trump.
You cop out.
I wasn't here. I know it's a cop out. I'm absolutely conservative, though, without a doubt, and I'm happy that he won.
You're flashy.
Sure.
You're very polished. I'll give you that. But the rest of it, I don't know. Convince me that you're real.
I'm absolutely in love with your daughter.
That's not it.
No?
No.
What
That's more like words.
He said, I'm going to be on Netflix for 5 minutes. I'm about to get 500 new clients. I think he needs to host the reunion. So hi, I'm Grace. Can I be your—
It's day 11, and Trump has just said that the war will be ending very soon. So, here's everything you need to know. Firstly, I'd take what Trump said with a little pinch of salt, because at the same time, Pete Hegseth is saying that we've only just begun, and Iran is vowing the opposite, an escalation, saying from now on, their missile attacks will only launch warheads weighing more than a ton. What Trump's war-ending soon comments did do, however, is aid in bringing the price of oil down from 120, which it's quickly spiked up to now sitting around 90. Trump did then threaten Iran with death, fire, and fury if they stopped the flow of oil. So a nice balance of we have no clue what's happening tomorrow. Iran has made a pretty stunning announcement saying that any Arab or European country that kicks an Israeli or American ambassador out of their country will be allowed to freely pass through the Strait of Hormuz starting tomorrow. Vietnam is now urging people to work from home due to fuel shortages because of the war. The EU's council president said that Russia is the only winner of this Middle East war. Speaking of which, the US spoke to Putin for the first time since this all broke out, and he reportedly presented Trump several proposals for ending the war with Iran. Fearing for their safety returning home, Australia have given 5 Iranian football players humanitarian visas after they refused to sing the national anthem during the Women's Asian Cup. As for the rest of their team, well, their bus heading to the airport was temporarily blocked by protesters pleading with women to stay. Also, large crowds have gathered across Iran to pledge allegiance to their new supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei. But he himself is yet to make an appearance. See you all on day 12.
So you're telling me that these urban explorers find a secret cave system in what looks like an abandoned well in the woods and find children's clothes on the inside of this? Now, y'all, that ain't all they find. It looks like this well may have collapsed on itself and exposed this system of tunnels. And these tunnels are obviously man-made. They look like they were dug out. But here are the children's clothes. They look almost brand new. They found a hat. They found this little pair of overalls. It looks like it belongs to a toddler. And then they capture this on video when they're showing us these different tunnels. Right here. Did you see it? Now they pan over and you can see what looks like a head coming out of the side of this tunnel. It's almost the same color as the walls, but it has bright red glowing eyes. And it just disappears into a wall. Now, it makes me wonder if this thing has something to do with these children's clothes that they found in these tunnels. Now, when you slow it down and brighten it up, you can really see more of its facial features. You can kind of see its mouth. You can see its eyes glowing. There it is going into the wall, and then it almost turns into like a smoke. Now, these people obviously did not see it at the time. They left the cave system after 5 hours of exploring it. 5 hours after recording this thing. Now, obviously, this video raises way more questions than answers. They didn't see this until after they posted, by the way. Their viewers on TikTok pointed it out to them. If you want to go see the full video, go check it out on their page. But what is this thing? Why is there a cave system down here? And why are there children's clothes down here? What's y'all's thoughts on this one? Let me know.
Dubai streets are filled with abandoned pets like dogs, cats, and even rabbits as people are basically rushing to flee this escalating war in the Middle East. We're seeing truly heartbreaking pictures of dogs just stranded on streets or tied to poles with no owner in sight. One resident found a cat and 4 kittens just randomly dumped outside of her house in a crate with a note that said, "Kitten 4 and mama cat inside box. I'm traveling back to my country because of the situation going on here. I tried to call, but no one picked up my calls, so I got to know your location. I'm so sorry for keeping in front of your gate." Thankfully, we've learned that the cats are in good health and they're actually up for fostering, but this problem is just getting worse since shelters are way past their capacity. Vets are actually reporting that so many people now are asking to get their healthy pets euthanized. And obviously, so much of this comes from people not wanting to pay for relocation costs or do all of this paperwork, but even people who do want to do this are having to leave their pets behind. There are actually reports of people who tried to leave the region through Oman, but weren't allowed to bring their pets across the border, and so they had to abandon them in the desert. And this is one of those unintended, underreported consequences of war everywhere. The Middle East, Ukraine, all over Europe during World War II, when Britain actually had to euthanize almost 1 million pets. But vets and animal rights groups are trying their best to save all of the animals that they can. And places like Dubai Municipality have even come up with AI smart devices to help track stray animals, known as Ehsan stations. And animal sanctuaries like Six Hounds are trying to spread the word, saying that if you're thinking of abandoning your pet, contact them because they can help find foster care or animal shelters instead. And we've tagged other organizations in the area that you can contact as well. The UAE is home to over 2 million pets, and they deserve safety and care just like we do. The news girls will continue to cover the underreported effects of this war, so make sure to follow to stay in the loop.
Quick pause. If you're still watching, thank you so much. It means a lot. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. But before we get to it, I need to know what video has messed with you the most. Let me know down below.
I'm very
Sometimes people think if a gas station is open all night, it means someone is always watching the place.
That's the mistake. If you stop at a 24-hour gas station late at night and notice the cashier isn't visible behind the counter, do not walk straight inside. First, stay near your car. Most people walk inside immediately to pay, but before you step through the door, look at the windows. But if the lights inside are on, but you can't see a cashier, customer, or movement anywhere, do not enter yet. Employees normally appear the moment the door opens. Second, listen carefully. If the door chime rings when you open it, but no one responds from the back room, do not walk deeper into the store. Most people call out, "Hello?" to get attention. That's how your position gets confirmed. Third, check your mirrors. Many gas stations have security mirrors in the corners of the ceiling. If you see movement in one of those mirrors, but nothing is visible when you turn your head, leave immediately. Do not walk towards the aisle. Do not walk towards the cooler. People who ignored this rule said the same thing. They realized too late that someone was already inside the store, standing somewhere the cameras couldn't see, waiting for the door to chime to tell them someone just walked in alone. Because when a gas station looks to open but no one is behind the counter, it usually means one thing: you weren't the first person to enter that store tonight.
When it comes to true crime, do you know what one single moment in time replays in my mind? I'd say probably once a week. What Paul Murdoch must have been thinking after his father shot him the first time, and then to watch his dad point the shotgun back up at his head and shoot again. You have this 22-year-old who has lived an insanely privileged life. And even during the trial, you don't hear about abuse within the family. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You hear about how much Alec Murdoch loved his family. And then Paul walks into that little feed room, and his father, the man he trusts most in the world, shoots him. But the bullet doesn't kill him. And then Paul looks over to see what the hell just happened, locks eyes with his father, who then raises the shotgun up at his head and pulls the trigger. Like, what a betrayal. And not to mention Maggie, hearing 2 gunshots, comes running out of the kennel to see her son's head literally taken off and her husband standing there with the gun. And she comprehended what was going on, which is when Alec Murdoch shot and killed her too.
If you think you come from a small town, you don't, unless you live here. It's literally sinking. There are only 2 stores in this town. This clearly is a history museum. Kind of looks like someone's house, like a front porch. There are no cars, only golf carts, bicycles, or you could walk. And the dialect of people who were born and raised on Tangier Island is crazy. Like, here's a video you can hear. Sound on.
Colony cussing at me all day.
What's he saying?
She was behind the counter. She said, "It's a lie, Jack." I said, "Who's that, man?"
I got counter, and who's that?
We have top spots instead of in them. Oh, sir. Where they're at. Where are they at? Just outside the mud. They ain't no pause, sir.
I'm trying to understand.
Cut that off further, that crowd going out.
If we're talking among ourselves, we might fall in.
So you'll see a lot of houses that are almost sinking. Like, you can see there's barely something like a structure under this house, and a lot of them kind of look like this. Like, if you look real close, it's like, whoa, that house is barely hanging on. And I do kind of love that there's no cars, but you either have to walk, take a bike, or a golf cart. This is located in the Chesapeake Bay, Virginia, and it honestly is beautiful. It really is. Like, I love the water, but there is no place in the world, well, maybe no place in the US that even comes close to this kind of like heritage. I mean, from my knowledge, there's literally only 2 stores, like one grocery store and then this museum, and that's it. Everyone knows everyone. It's literally like a town that you would see in a movie, which is insane. Would you go here? Like, would you go visit? Because I feel like I definitely would.
This clip shows the power of the family, even in creature critters. So this grizzle bear came, you can see, just coming to attack this woman moose who's super vulnerable, birthing a baby moose, but the man moose is having none of it. This is the husband, and it's saying, "Grizzle bear, get out of here," and it hits it with its antler horns, and that grizzle bear did learn its lesson. And this is just a beautiful clip that shows that a man's moose job, and a man everywhere's job, is to protect the women, especially when they're vulnerable. So I think it's beautiful, and I wish we saw more of this with humans.
Please tell me y'all didn't actually capture this in a photo, because if you did, you're done for. A group of sisters got together for a day out, spending some time in nature, and they took this photo. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but look right here at their legs. Let me move my big head out of the way, but look right there. Do you see it? Now, do you see it? And no, this isn't a camera glitch. And no, there was no random dog without a freaking head at this get-together. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I was raised in the South, and I was taught that this is a bad omen. The spectral black dog is around you or in photos or anything like that. This means that something bad is going to happen. Now, this thing is translucent. It has no head. It has a black mist around it, which is also very concerning. And it looks like it may be attached to this sister right here, furthest to the right, or maybe the one right here in the middle. Really wish I could get more information on if anything happened to these two women, but I can say this. It for sure wasn't good. Something happened, and it for sure wasn't good. There's no way it didn't if this thing is in your photos. What do you guys think? And have y'all ever heard about the Black Dog Omen?
This middle school teacher has been identified, thanks to what she did to a 7th grader. Meet Valerie Hodge, who works for Cobb County School District for McClure Middle School. She teaches English, and she's well known, but she's about to get a whole lot more well known, thanks to what she did to a 7th grader she didn't even know. Valerie had just had a peaceful morning teaching English and had just finished her lunch, and she noticed a 7th grader in the cafeteria turning blue.
I thought I was gonna die, like I just could not breathe and I was wheezing.
Thanks to one of her first ever jobs being at a daycare, Valerie knew exactly what to do when she saw this 7th grader choking.
Didn't really even think, honestly. I just kind of reacted. I saw a student that was in trouble and I asked if he needed help and I just kind of went into action.
Meet Dalton, the 7th grader whose life was saved thanks to an English teacher.
He made the universal sign for choking and I asked him, "Are you okay?" He shook his head no.
So she ran up and gave him the Heimlich, it was just scary. I felt like I was gonna live again. I had hope. I was like, okay, I'm gonna survive.
When Miss Hodges' actions got back to this 7th grader's mom, this is what she had to say.
I can't thank her enough. She took care of business and she didn't think twice. And I don't know what the outcome could have been. It could have been a tragic situation for our family. And I'll never be able to give her a large enough gift. I'll never be able to say enough words, but a situation like that can turn tragic in a second. And I'm grateful that she was there. She took care of my son and he was able to come home that afternoon from school.
Thanks to Miss Hodges' bravery and quick reaction, this 7th grader is not only alive and well, but he has said that she is now his favorite teacher, despite her having never taught him a day in his life.
We do what we do because we like to be part of a kid's life and make a difference.
Round of applause for the teacher. Seriously, round of applause. She deserves a raise. That is amazing for what she did. She deserves many awards. She saved that child's life. Good job.
Do y'all see what's happening around these airports, y'all, worldwide? I mean, every single airport is experiencing some type of situation. Look at Dubai.
What's going on?
That's what I'm trying to figure
What's
out.
happening?
I heard that they were evacuating the Kansas City airport.
Okay, they're evacuating Kansas City Airport. We were at the gate. They just told us everybody has to leave.
What's going on? Even the people on the tarmac had to turn around. Bro, where are the planes? Do y'all notice something? Where the hell are the planes? Why don't I see the planes on the ground? This right here was in Florida and Fort Lauderdale Airport. Like, what is going on? What about that Nashville flight that had a bomb threat? Did y'all hear about that? The 737? Check this out, man. People had to put their heads down and their hands up so they can find the culprit. Here go the bomb squad coming through. Here's the guy. A United flight had to do an emergency landing at the Los Angeles airport just the other day, y'all. Bro, there's something happening in the air. They told us about it. Remember, leave the world behind? Look at this. Everybody is running. Something is, bro, they're not telling us something. Remember the air traffic controllers? Bro, I don't care what y'all tell me, man. We're not in Kansas anymore. Y'all can feel the energy. This is exactly why this shit's happening in Kansas City. We are not in Kansas anymore. The whole energy has changed. I know y'all feel that, and I told y'all what's coming, man. Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. What's going up in the skies? The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
They posted private photos of Ariana Grande in her own home. So this person named Franco was somehow invited over to Ariana Grande's house to watch the show Drag Race. Well, let me tell you, this is the last invite Franco will ever get from Ariana. Because while he was over at her house, he decided to privately take and then post tons of photos of Ariana. Now, in all of these photos, Ariana is very clearly unaware that they are being taken of her. And before anyone claims otherwise, all of these photos are 100% real, as they were all taken and posted as live photos. Now, Franco posted these pictures thinking he was going to get some clout or something, but he got the complete opposite, as after people started seeing the post, Franco got some massive backlash. And then because of this backlash, he very ironically decided to private his account. So let me get this right, Franco. You can private your account so you can have some privacy, but when Ariana Grande invites you into her private residence, she can't get any privacy because you're taking pictures of her the whole time. I mean, given the circumstances, I don't think that you should be allowed to make your account private, Franco.
The internet is going crazy right now about what may have happened inside of this tunnel in New Mexico. So this tunnel is off of the 84 in New Mexico near Santa Fe, and it seems to have been referenced in the Epstein files. So as you can see here, there's the EFTA number in the bottom right-hand corner, and this appears to be an email sent by a potential survivor/victim to an officer, and this person seems to be describing an event that happened in the tunnel. So they say here, I was not a prostitute before meeting Mike Levine. I don't know who Mike is. It was he who forced me into it, threatening the life of my niece. If I had been in prostitution, he would have never had to do this. I did what he asked or forced me to do. I told him it hurt, but he didn't care. He had a mission and he accepted what he did to me as collateral damage. I understand I was an adult then, but wanted you to know that Ghislaine was procuring young girls before 1994. To me, she was the mastermind behind the scheme, and they basically talk about Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell trafficking this woman, doing terrible, terrible things to her, but she keeps referencing this tunnel. Right here, they state, there was an error in my last email. The tunnel off roadway 84 is on the left side of the road, 84, not right side, as I stated in the earlier email. The large turnout is nearby tunnel entrance and is also on the left side of 84. The tunnel is hiding in plain sight. And then down here, she also states, as you can see right here, M. Levine introducing me to Maxwell/Epstein was around the same time of the pictures I sent you, and him taking me to the tunnel. I feel it was all done to terrify me into submission. I appreciate you and others allowing me to purge what has been tormenting my life for nearly 40 years. I hope it helps you knowing she was doing these terrible things in the early 80s. So this seems to be an email ratting on Ghislaine Maxwell, but the internet is talking about what the hell happened in this tunnel. And obviously I'm curious as well. This seems to be something that terrified this victim, and yet the email before this is not present in the Epstein file. Nobody has been able to track down the message sent by this alleged victim/survivor, which would contain the allegation of what allegedly went down in that tunnel. However, people have been able to find the tunnel, or what they believe is the tunnel. And I was actually just in New Mexico last week. If I would have been there right now, I would have gone out here to check out, what potentially could be in this area or inside of the tunnel. But I do know that whatever allegedly happened here doesn't sound too good. Interestingly, also on the post that I found talking about this tunnel, there were a number of what seems to be bot accounts that were attacking the original poster. And a lot of people were commenting saying, wow, the bots really came out for this one. You're onto something. So it seems like this tunnel has some sort of importance, but we just don't know what that is. I'll keep you guys updated.
Have you ever felt eyes on the back of your head? I'm Charlie, and I talk about creepy photos that I find on Reddit. So this Reddit user posted a picture they took of their house. They were home alone at the time, and they went outside because the chickens were crying because they needed to get chicken fed. And that's when they felt that presence, that pressure in the back of their spine, that tingle going down. They knew something was wrong, and they felt like they were being watched. So they flipped around, and they snapped a picture of their home. And that's when they got a picture of this creepy face in the window staring at them. You see, it's pale, it's got dark eyes. But the thing is, no one was home at the time. They were the only person there. It's super zoomed in, and you can see it. There's definitely somebody in the house. Are they alive? That is the real question. If you like this, check out our podcast, Believing the Bizarre, for more creepy stories.
If you get lost in the Amazon rainforest, you will not survive. It's beautiful, we get it, except there's something about the rainforest where people say that your footprints will be erased, removed, because it's so humid, so nothing really sticks in the ground. If you made a trail and then tried walking back, your footprints are gone. They also say that something about the Amazon jungle, the trees kind of morph in a sense, so nothing looks the same. Not only are the animals terrifying, this one creator was in the jungle and she talked about this little like branch stem thing, and that white part, if that goes into your bloodstream, you are done within 10 minutes. Like, you will not survive because that is poison. Then alongside that, when you get stung by bees or whatever other insects there are, if you try to like wash yourself in the water, there's piranhas, there's a lot of other animals you don't want to encounter. And you know how like when you're in the shower or a pool or a bath, your skin starts to prune? Yeah, everything's gonna start to prune, not just your fingers, because it's so humid there. It's like always wet. So from what people are saying, if you just go a little bit in the Amazon forest, you'll be okay. But if you go kind of deep in, you're done. You're done. I think the thing that blows my mind the most is how people say the trees just like morph. Like they move, they shift. They don't look the same as they did 10 minutes ago.
He warned us. Check this out.
If I ever shave my face again, you'll know.
Let's see.
It's not our world.
None
That's
of
the
this is
key.
real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter. Then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there, receiving their awards, and I was like, I'm dead.
People are already over the shit that happened with Jim Carrey, and it's sad, bro, because he was telling us that something's going on if I look different, if I act different, and he never gave a fuck about the award shows, and yet people are just over it, acting like nothing happened. Y'all need to wake the fuck up, bro. Look at his eyes. They're green, bro.
Did Erica Kirk work with Jeffrey Epstein? Let's get into it. Yesterday, Candace Owens announced that in 2015, Erica Kirk was seen taking multiple meetings at Next Model Management in New York, a modeling agency founded by Faith Cates, who had to step down in December due to her extensive ties with Jeffrey Epstein. This agency was known to procure a lot of girls from Eastern Europe, perhaps Romania, because in 2015, Erica Kirk was still working very closely with Romanian Angels Orphanage there. They housed young children and teenagers up to age 18. There was even an article written in a local Romanian newspaper in 2015, a positive article documenting gifts from Erica Kirk to the organization. And what's interesting is one of Epstein's closest associates, Jean-Luc Brunel, held a 25% stake in Next Model Management. And his job was leveraging European scouting background to help build the agency's international pipeline. He was known for scouting pageant girls to his modeling pipeline. In 2022, he was in jail awaiting trial on charges for trafficking girls for Epstein. And in this Guardian article, one of the victims says that he lured her into his bedroom on the pretext of showing her photos of a Miss Universe contestant whose career he had developed. It makes you wonder if he was connected with Miss Arizona. I wish we could ask him, but in 2022, he was found dead in his cell from committing suicide. With only 1 degree of separation from Jeffrey Epstein, you have to wonder what this pageant girl was really doing taking meetings at Next Model Management. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
Enough said, knowing that some of Epstein's friends had ties, suspicious, but also suspicious how Erica is a industry plant. She is way too popular for her to be who she is. I get it, but come on, especially knowing that Epstein's name is somehow involved and there's ties connected between them two. What do we not know? Who really is she?
Someone called a cult doing a demonic ritual in a field. There's no way they got this on camera. And this girl in the middle of the circle is floating. How is that possible? Dark magic, y'all. Stay weird.
Sometimes people think if a library is open late and it's completely quiet, it means everyone is studying. That's the mistake. If you're in a library close to closing time and you notice every table empty, but you hear a chair slowly slide across the floor, do not go looking for it. Stop where you are. Most people assume another student just moved, but libraries carry sound strangely. If the chair moved 2 hours away, yet no echo sounds right behind you, don't turn around yet. First, check the shelves. If a book falls somewhere nearby, but you never heard footsteps before it dropped, do not walk towards the aisle to put it back. Most people do. That's how they end up deeper in the stacks. Second, pay attention to the lights. If the lights in the aisle ahead of you turn off one in a row at a time, do not step in the darkest section. Stay where the lights still work. People who ignored this said the same thing later. The darkness didn't spread randomly. It moved aisle by aisle towards wherever they were standing. Third, leave the building. Do not stop at checkout desk. Do not return the book you're holding. If the chair slides again right before you reach the exit, but the room still looks empty, Don't check the aisles to see who moved it. Just walk outside. Because when a library is silent but furniture starts moving on its own, it usually means someone else is still there, and they're trying to figure out which aisle you're in.
We have just witnessed the largest delegation ever of US lawmakers visiting Israel, and I almost guarantee you have not heard about it. 250 state legislators representing all 50 states arrived in Israel on Monday, and they attended an event at the Foreign Ministry titled 50 States, One Israel. On Tuesday, the lawmakers then took part in a ceremony where they planted 50 trees, one for each state, at one of the locations of the October 7th attacks. Netanyahu's office described it as the largest ever bipartisan delegation of American lawmakers to ever visit the Jewish state. Israel's foreign minister, Gideon Sa'ar, urged the lawmakers in attendance to pass anti-BDS laws in their states. BDS stands for Boycott, Divestment, and Sanction, and it is a movement started in 2005 by Palestinian activists. Anti-BDS laws are designed to make it difficult or discourage boycotts of Israel, and to date, 38 US states have adopted these laws, resolutions, or executive orders. Gideon Sa'ar said, "We are witnessing a coordinated global effort against Israel today, claiming that their enemies have turned to propaganda, political, legal, and economic warfare." He then said to the crowd of US lawmakers, the best answer against BDS until this day has been anti-BDS legislation by your states. But the timing of this trip couldn't be more controversial, not only because the day after they arrived, the United Nations Commission of Inquiry officially ruled for the first time that Israel are committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza, but also because on the exact same day, Israel's highly condemned ground invasion into Gaza City officially began. And the reason I said I almost guarantee you haven't heard about this is because, to my genuine surprise, literally no major media publication is covering this apart from local news in Israel. And I mean, regardless of where you stand, is the largest delegation of US lawmakers to ever visit Israel not news?
Well, if I go down the creek and I see something like this standing there, I'm getting the fuck out. I'm going. A woman went to the creek with her family. She went to her usual swimming hole. But while she was there, she noticed a woman just standing in the creek. Now, she said this woman was very pale, almost gray, and she was in some type of dark robes, which was crazy because she said it was almost 100 degrees outside. She said they swam in their swimming hole for a while. The woman did not move, did not look at them, nothing. When finally she decided to start yelling at her, going, "Hey, hey." And she didn't bat an eyelash. She didn't move. Now, obviously, this could simply be somebody just standing there for a few hours, completely still and not reacting to people yelling at her. But what sense would that make? The craziest part about this whole story, though, is she said she gathered the kids, told them to come on, packed up their stuff, looked over again right before they left, and the woman was gone. She said it took no more than 2 minutes of her not looking at this person for them to completely disappear. What do you think's going on here? Let me know. And as always, don't forget to like and follow for more creepy content. Good night.
Well, again, standing randomly in the middle of the water for hours on end straight, that's perfectly fine. I do that myself. I don't know about you guys, but that's perfectly normal. What are we talking about? Why are you yelling at a person in a black robe knowing it's over 100 degrees? That's all you need to just either call the cops or not be there. Why are you voluntarily standing still, exposing your entire, where your location is, knowing that there's a random person wearing a robe in 100-degree weather not reacting to noise? That's not a human being. That's a shapeshifter.
I don't know if you heard the huge news, but the cash that D.B. Cooper jumped out of the airplane with and got lost was just found, and it's in the official suitcase that he had, briefcase that he had on the plane. And so this is the guy that found it, and he is washing the money off to verify the serial numbers. But now there's a big legal battle as if the finder can be the keepers or if the money goes back to the governmenters. But they did pick up some fingerprints right on those bills, and so hopefully we're one step closer to finding them.
These teenagers ended up setting this homeless lady on fire. They never thought they would have got caught until camera footage came out of them actually setting her on fire. Her name was Charo, which was her nickname.
Yeah.
She was a homeless lady in Barcelona at the time, and her life went through a lot of ups and downs. At this point in her life, she was sleeping in like this ATM. Sometimes ATMs would be like in a little room kind of thing.
Yeah.
She would sleep in one of those at night. On this night, it was December 15th of 2005. These kids kept coming and messing with her when they seen that she was sleeping inside there. No. Throughout the night, these kids kept coming back. There was like 3 boys that would keep coming back and messing with her. At one point, she tried to block the door so they wouldn't be able to go in there. One of the boys ended up banging on the windows while she was sleeping on the other side of the door. One of his friends went around and opened the door open while she was distracted, and they ended up pouring like some type of like gasoline fluid all over her and inside the ATM. And one of the kids was smoking a cigarette, flicked a cigarette into the ATM, completely set her on fire.
And they like held it closed?
Yeah, so she wouldn't be able to get out. And so these boys end up running off, and they think like everything's all good, but they didn't know that these ATMs have cameras inside there.
Oh my god.
So there is crystal clear footage
of them doing it to her.
Of these boys setting her on fire, like pouring stuff all over her and throwing the cigarette at her and setting her on fire. After all this footage comes out, because people in the community knew her and they was cool with her. When the police caught them, they were saying like, well, we didn't know that the cigarette was gonna do that to her. But then they seen all the footage like, you came with a whole fucking canteen
of oil, bro.
Yeah,
like of gasoline. You're fucking crazy, dude. Yeah.
You think Slurpees are just flavored ice? Just a sweet frozen drink from the machine? Yeah, that's what they want you to think. Every Slurpee starts with carbonated water. Then they pump in massive amounts of liquid sugar syrup. So sweet, the whole drink basically becomes frozen candy. But sugar isn't the only thing in there, and they also add preservatives like sodium benzoate, a chemical that keeps drinks sitting on shelves for months. To keep the slush texture from separating, they mix in stabilizers like gum arabic, so the syrup and chemicals stay perfectly blended. And that bright color you see? That's not fruit. It's artificial dyes like red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1. You don't care though, right? They also add chemicals like calcium disodium, EDTA, and erythorbic acid. And these machines run all day, all night, constantly freezing and refreezing syrup, cup after cup after cup. So the next time you grab a Slurpee, remember what's actually inside that cup and why they call it a brain freeze.
Is this what celebrities have to do to stay famous?
Would you rather option one, become an industry plant celebrity of the profession of your choice? You can choose to become a singer, actor, influencer, you name it, and you will get at least $10 million a year. You will be quite busy though, and you won't get much rest, but you will amass millions of fans who constantly express their adoration towards you. You also get access to the very best medical. Your physical condition will be pristine, but in order for you to receive any of these benefits, you have to join the Secret Order of the Seventh Night, who is that is solely responsible for giving you all of these benefits. This group only requires that you meet with them 3 times a year to participate in their rituals deep in the woods. In these rituals, you'll be blindfolded, and you will perform ritualistic sacrifices while reciting this unknown language. You assume that you're sacrificing goats or lambs, but it's hard to tell because you are forced to inhale this strange gas beforehand, which makes your memory go a little fuzzy. But you can't help but notice that every time you leave one of these rituals, you feel like a piece of you is missing, and in its place is something more sinister, something that makes you feel more hollow. And if you ever plan on leaving this group or get any funny idea about exposing the secret to your fame, they will replace you with a near identical replica to carry out the remainder of your days so they can still make a profit off of you. And you will be locked away, forever living the remainder of your days in confinement, knowing your replica is out there hugging your children and kissing your spouse. But if you want to keep this beautiful life that they've so generously given you, just do what you're told and keep your mouth shut. Or would you rather option 2, never be stuck in traffic again?
This photo was taken at a concert celebrating Dia de los Muertos. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The person in the photo said that a musician actually did a prayer to bring in spirits to come celebrate with them. They said he was bringing the spirits in to help people spiritually and emotionally, to heal their minds. And in one of the group photos they took, they actually captured a spirit in the photo, standing behind them smiling. Here's the spirit in question if you still don't see it. It has black around its eyes, black lips, gray skin. It either has long hair or a veil on it. Also looks like it has some sort of headdress on. While the people who took the photo believe that the spirit is not malevolent, so many people will tell you that it's not a good thing to summon spirits because you don't know what kind of spirit you're summoning. They can get attached to you, so on and so forth. But I do have to say, I don't get a negative vibe from this spirit. It does look and feel like it's just there to enjoy its time at this party. What do you guys?
He said, oh, Carmelita Salinas, she was so Catholic, but she was over there ordering and buying to perform her satanic rituals. Have you ever heard of the actor Carmen Salinas?
Yes, bro. Who the doesn't know Carmen Salinas?
For those of you who don't know who that is, it's a very, very famous Mexican actress who she was very known for being like kind of like a saint in a way.
I was about to say, I feel like she's like my grandma.
But as of recently, there was this podcast, right? Penitencia MX. And in this one episode, it was episode 177. Her name was brought up in the episode. It was on some satanic. So this guy, his name is Beto, he was able to convince other
lure them in and get them kidnapped. So that was his purpose and that was his job, and he was getting a lot of money. He was saying how they were paying him really, really good, and how eventually, since he was doing a really good job, he started working for certain people. He started saying how, like, all the artists, all the actresses that you know, all of them do this.
Do what?
He said, oh, you know, Carmelita Salinas, she was so Catholic, but she was over there ordering kids and buying perform her satanic rituals. And now I'm going to show you the interview, which is now, by the way, deleted or censored from the original episode.
Empecé a convivir con mucha gente del medio, ¿no? Te lo vuelvo a repetir. Carmelita Salinas, con todas esas personas yo las conozco, sé cómo viven. Bueno, la Carmelita Salinas decía que era católica, ¿no? Y te compraba los si iba a hacer su sacrificio, ¿no? Desde el 90 y tantos ya era gay y no sabía, ¿no? Y cosas así. Y todos esos personajes yo trabajé para ellos. Esa fue mi vida.
And the thing is, too, is the fact that people are saying that, what does he gain from lying? He's serving 80 years right now. What the is he gonna gain from lying?
Was this a that was mentioned, or
No, other people were mentioned, but her name was the only one that wasn't censored.
oh, so it was like an error then, or
It was either an error or they purposely did that. First of all, he goes into depth about a lot of stuff that he was doing, bro.
like what though?
That he was kidnapping these, not just for like, it was for mainly satanic rituals. How he goes to these poor areas, he lures them in. Obviously, they don't have nowhere to go. He was once one of those kids. That's how.
Did you hear about the giant cave that was just discovered in the jungles of Tennessee, and nobody's known that it's ever been there? But what's crazy, in the bottom, there's a village amongst the trees. There is like some indigenators, adobe huts, or however you want to call them, and there's a lot of artifactage and a lot of gold objects. We did find some plates down there that look like it's recordage, like there's writing on it. We can't tell exactly what type of writing it is, but we're excited to get a translator and figure it out. I'm going down there tomorrow. We do need a few helping hands, and so if you are in the area and you are willing, let me know, but stay tuned for part 2.
It's not World War III, but it is a war that's now affecting the whole world. By just 2 countries launching an attack less than 2 weeks ago, today at least 20 different countries are now involved in some military capacity, meaning it may be the closest we've been to a world war in decades. According to Axios, it's now drawn in more countries, more great powers, and more overlapping conflicts than any crisis since the Cold War. So here are the main 3 ways that this war will touch almost the entire planet. Yes, even you, Africa. Firstly, allied countries have become targets. See, because the US military have bases in many countries around Iran, they were the first to be dragged in and started receiving a huge barrage of missile and drone attacks, a number of which made impact. And on top of the casualties, damages, and millions forked out in defense missiles, for many, like the UAE's Dubai, it's caused major cracks in their safe holiday destination image that they've worked so hard to create. Secondly, the US and Israel didn't inform allied countries they were about to attack, which left governments around the world scrambling to evacuate their citizens and make quick rush decisions on their own involvement. To many, that caused major political backlash at home, especially since UK bases were attacked and NATO defense systems had to get involved. And the third and most wide-reaching consequence of all, prices.
Oil prices are now up 70%. It's going to be the largest monthly move of all time, and it's only the 9th of March.
Of all time, as in all time, all time?
All time.
Now, we've already heard how important the Strait of Hormuz is and how the 97% drop in ship traffic is going to hit our pockets real soon. But few are talking about how not all countries will feel this crisis the same. Take Sudan, for example, who are already facing the worst humanitarian crisis on Earth. Well, they import a staggering 54% of their fertilizer from the Gulf region. Remember, this is a country that already has 21 million people facing acute hunger. That's around 40% of their entire population. And it's not just Sudan, because when oil prices go up, so too does the price of food. And you know, for some, that means the weekly shop gets more expensive, but for others, that means they starve. So yeah, this war may be physically regional, but the consequences are global, and it only gets worse the longer it drags.
Have you seen this clippage of this huge hair clump that was blocking a drainage pipe in front of a person's house in Madison, Wisconsin? So Dave Portsinger has 10 daughters and one wife. They have 3 sets of twins amongst their daughters, which is just incredible. And he says the drains always get clogged, but he uses Drano. He sometimes tries to snakeages it with that plumbing thing because he knows some tricks and tips on plumbing. But he said as of the past year, it's just he hasn't been able to unclog it. And so he finally saved up, hired a plumber, and they found this huge hair clump. They think it's about 20 years worth of hair between these 11 women and girls. The good news is they are donating it to Locks of Love. And Locks of Love think they'll be able to make over 227,000 wigs out of it, which is just kind of a miracle if you think about it. They say they're going to have to shampoo it, so they're looking for someone to donate shampoo. But now if you have a family member that gets cancer over the next year, you're not going to have to worry about them getting a wig because they have surplusage of wigs now.
Quick pause. If you're still watching, thank you. It means a lot. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe because we're just getting started.
We got breaking news. A Ukrainian tourist was kidnapped in Bali, tortured on video, and now police says his dismembered body has been found on the beach. So here's what happened. 28-year-old Ihor Komarov was vacationing on the Indonesia island of Bali when he was suddenly abducted in the resort town of Jimbaran. Police say he was riding a motorbike with a friend when a group of men forced him into a car and drove away, leaving the friend behind. Then things got even darker. A few days later, video started circulating online showing Komarov badly injured with bruises and banged up hand, begging for his life while kidnappers demanded a 10 million ransom, but the ransom was never paid. On February 27, locals discovered human body parts washed up along a beach and riverbank nearby. DNA tests later confirmed the remains were Komarov. Investigators now believe he was tortured before being killed, though the exact circumstances are still under investigation. Police are still trying to figure out and track down the attackers. A vacation paradise turning into a brutal international murder investigation, and the biggest question right now is who kidnapped him and why. Follow for more updates, and if you want to support me, check out links in my bio.
This photo is honestly terrifying. What do you see in this photo that should not be there or should not have been captured by the person who took the photo? I'll move. I don't think she was really meant to be in this photo. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but like she's not from this realm. This photo was captured at a soul dance event in Atlanta, Georgia. They were celebrating El Día de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. The event was led by a powerful musician named Porangi, and he did a beautiful prayer and called on the spirits. After he called upon the spirits, the group took this photo, and that's when she appeared. I mean, in case you wanted a closer look. The person that originally posted this photo says that the air or like the energy felt thick and she could feel the presence of something behind her. So after she took the photo, when she went to look, like she honestly wasn't surprised. For whatever reason, just looking at this makes my face feel really hot and it gives me a headache. I 100% believe that this is an authentic photo, especially when it was captured after this musician called upon the spirits. Like they listened. If you call upon them, they will come. But like always, what do you guys think?
Scientists just discovered a completely unidentified form of life, and this is like nothing ever seen before. Over 400 million years ago, Earth was a very different place. Now, reportedly back here, the tallest things on Earth were these gigantic pillars, which were kind of just like trees, but for the last 200 years, yes, 200 years, scientists have been going back and forth, arguing amongst themselves between what actually were these things. Was it an original type of tree, a fungus, or something like that? Well, no. Scientists recently took a perfectly preserved fossil from all this time ago. Using infrared light, other technologies, and our best friend, AI, they managed to get a result of what this actually was. So what the AI did was basically run it against anything on Earth, like literally everything, and it didn't match anything, meaning this has never been seen before on Earth and does not exist anymore. So the researchers came out recently and they said this: it belongs to an entirely extinct and extremely rare branch of species. Now, just deep that a second. This isn't talking about a kind of species of tree or animal or something like that. It said branch, and I'm not talking about the branch on a tree. Branch means branch of life form, as in this is a completely different life form we have never seen before. I'm sure a lot more is going to come out, but what the hell?
This is obviously about to sound fake right now, but China just turned on a machine that creates 1900 times Earth's gravity underground. Did you even know that that existed? So these researchers in China just finished building something that shouldn't be possible. 50 feet underground, they installed a brand new $285 million machine that's called Chief 1900. This is a hypergravity centrifuge that generates forces 1900 times stronger than Earth's gravity, and for context, your washing machine does too. It works like a giant spinning arm with a radius of about 20 feet. They load multi-ton scale models into it and they spin them at speeds so intense that the machine had to be buried underground just to stop the vibrations from destroying everything around it. They had to build a custom vacuum cooling system because this thing generates so much heat that it would melt its own components. Now this is the crazy part and why it actually matters, because they can put a 10-foot model of a 1,000-foot dam on this machine and spin it. And whenever they spin it, they're able to watch decades of structural damage happen in just hours. Earthquakes, landslides, nuclear waste storage, they're compressing centuries of geological stress into days, and scientists are calling it a machine that compresses space and time. Okay. Meanwhile, all of this is happening. NASA is still trying to figure out how to get a rocket off the launch.
I decided to ask Rock why there's a freaking pyramid and an all-seeing eye on our dollar bill, and it deadass told me that it's about patriotism. You know, even though it's in Egypt, it's about patriotism. Right on. Anyways, this is my driver, and we are ruled by Satanists. Literally, occultists. Yeah. Anyways.
This might be one of the only hauntings where police say they witnessed it themselves. In 1977, a single mother named Peggy Hodgson was living in Enfield, England with her 4 children. One night, 2 of her daughters heard a strange knocking sound coming from the walls inside of their bedroom. At first, Peggy thought that the girls were just trying to scare each other, but that's when the noises started getting even louder. And then furniture began moving by itself. Terrified Peggy ended up calling the police. And when an officer arrived, something happened which would make this case famous around the world. The officer later reported seeing a chair move several feet across the floor by itself and no one touching it. Soon after, the house became a center of massive investigation. Witnesses claimed to see toys flying across the room, furniture flipping over, and one of the daughters, Janet, being lifted off of the bed. 2 paranormal investigators spent months documenting what they believed was a real paranormal activity. However, not everybody was convinced of this. Some people actually believed that the girls were the reason that this was all going on, and that they may have even staged some of it. Others insisted there was way too many witnesses for this to be fake. Even journalists and photographers said they saw things that they just couldn't explain. Nearly 50 years later, and the Enfield poltergeist case is still one of the most famous hauntings ever recorded. But I'm curious, what do you think? Was this a real haunting, or one of the most convincing hoaxes ever pulled off?
Donald Trump just endorsed Jake Paul to run for a political office. We are beyond the point of being cooked, guys. So during an event, Donald had Jake come up on stage and say a couple of words. And after Jake's speech, Donald decided to tell Jake that if he ever runs for any office in any kind of politics, that Jake has Donald's full endorsement and support. Now, since this happened, a lot of Jake's fans are not happy with him at all for associating with Donald. But let's just hope that Jake never decides to run for office, because at this point he actually has a chance of winning.
The Epstein files just took a horrific turn against Donald Trump. Yesterday, these 3 brothers, Orrin Allen and Tal Alexander, were convicted of sex trafficking in Manhattan. You might remember this in the Epstein files. It alleges that these same 3 brothers, Orrin Allen and Tal, had raped a 14-year-old girl at an Epstein party. But that same allegation also says Donald Trump was at these big orgy parties, and that Trump Golf Course was part of a sex trafficking ring. So this allegation seems extremely credible now, and
He reached down a little girl's shirt and groped her while she was sleeping. 34-year-old Javed Enemdar took a seat next to a 12-year-old girl on a plane. While this girl was asleep, she felt something warm in her shirt and instantly woke up. Javed had his hand inside this poor 12-year-old girl's shirt and was groping her chest. She screamed at him to get off of her multiple times, but he would not stop no matter what. The girl finally got up and alerted a flight attendant about what was going on. The flight attendant informed the captain to make an emergency stop. During the emergency stop, police questioned Javed, and he said that he was half asleep and he must have thought that the little girl was his wife. He also said that he would never touch a little girl because he has a 7-year-old daughter of his own. Javed was sentenced to 21 months in prison. What's crazy to me is that witnesses on the plane said that they saw that Javed wasn't half asleep while he was touching the girl. He was fully awake. My question is, if they saw it happen, why didn't they do anything? It honestly disgusts me. But what do you guys think about this case?
Why are more people not talking about Jeffrey Epstein's ex-girlfriend Karina Shuliak, who he planned to leave $50 million in cash, the Little St. James Island, Great St. James, Mexico, the New Mexico Zorro Ranch, Manhattan townhouse, his Paris apartment, and a near 33-carat diamond ring? A lot of this money has been given to victims for compensation, but it's clear to me Karina worked in the same capacity as Ghislaine Maxwell, scheduling and recruiting for Jeffrey Epstein. There's one email sent from Karina to Jeffrey, and it says, "Menu from the pizza place." When you click on the link, you're sent to this website that says, "Mamma mia, this has gotten too spicy. Contact our head chef, Samalo Hyde, for any special orders." And he's holding a grape soda, which we all know has come up alongside cheese pizza and beef jerky hundreds of times in these documents. Can't do anything through this website. I even tried to enter in an email, and they never send you an email for confirmation. In this email chain, Karina says, "Are you feeling okay? Would you like me to come to Dr. McNani?" Which he responds, "Sweetheart, I've had a tough 2 days. I would appreciate it if you're going to come over and cry about something. Wait until you feel better. Maybe you need a nap. I love you." She says, "I love you too. Sorry about me crying, and thank you, Jeffrey. It all went well, I think, but it's all because of you. How is your tooth?" There's this email from Jeffrey where, again, he just seems like the worst boyfriend ever, obviously. "Spying skills help. Thanks. I love you. Your concern over women is unnecessary. It's causing much of the stress between us. The first day we became together, I told you, please. There are always women around. If they will make you jealous or anxious, it will be a problem. How could you do that with Katya? Why is Redacted rubbing your feet? Why is there a masseuse? Who used the vibers? Why is Redacted topless? Why were you holding hands in the movie with Redacted? Why were you caressing Redacted? Photo holding Oriental girl. Why are you hugging her? Why are you looking at the girl's ass as it passed by? That was mean, question mark, question mark. Why don't you trust me? You trust Sue?" Spent 2 days apologizing for losing a deal which I had worked on for months and returning their money. "You are more important to me than any deal, so I don't mind in the end. You're the best person I've ever met, ever. We spend days hugging and I still ...
It does not seem like the relationship was the healthiest. After all those emails back and forth between them two, Epstein didn't seem like a cool guy to be with. But regardless, why did he leave so much behind for her? What do we not know that she had ties with? What more did she do in the background that we do not yet know?
Homie was lighting the bomb in front of the cops. That is crazy. This is wild. Thank God nobody was hurt. But this is what you gotta look out for, man. This is gonna happen all around the States, unfortunately, man. We saw it on a plane that had to be, brought down and had to take the guy off. Kansas City airport, same nonsense, bro. We're gonna keep seeing this, and the unfortunate thing is that the border wasn't protected, and so there's so many videos of people saying, "You don't know who I am," and then the people look up who he is, and he was some guy that was, some sort of terrorist organization. So just keep your head on a swivel, guys. You gotta pay attention because these things are going to come to a major city near you.
ICE is now going international. The AP just reported that US immigration agents are going to have a security role at this year's Winter Olympics in Italy. But not for the reasons you might think, because no, they're not going to be arresting migrants and deporting them from Italy. Rather, according to insiders who spoke with the AP, they will fulfill a security role for a US delegation, including JD Vance and Marco Rubio, who will be attending the opening ceremony in Milan next month. And so, for reasons still unclear, ICE were the ones chosen to fulfill that security role. I mean, maybe they just couldn't resist the pun. But this is going to be tense because Milan's mayor is actually very opposed to the idea, saying in a radio interview, "This is a militia that kills, a militia that enters into the homes of people. They are not welcome."
This game show led to the most insane murder. In Peru, millions of people were tuning into this game show called El Valor de la Verdad. Contestants would sit in a red chair, be connected to a lie detector, and answer deeply personal questions in front of their friends and family to get cash prizes. As long as you told what the show wanted to be the truth, you were going to win big. Celebrities and everyday people would come forward and do this show and answer really humiliating questions or talk about deep trauma in hopes of winning a lot of money. The most disturbing situation was actually the show's very first contestant named Ruth. She came from poverty, so this prize money could really change her life. So she was answering everything the way that she thought the show wanted her to say it. She was saying things like she was embarrassed of her parents, that she wishes she was white. She confessed that she was only staying with her boyfriend until someone better came along. And most important to our story, story, she revealed that she was a stripper and she had sold her body to men before. This episode went super viral. I mean, this is tea for sure. And they ended up making this the episode that they would play over and over. Like, she was a sensation overnight. Also, hi, I'm Grace. Can I be your horror girly? She then disappeared for 10 days. Nobody could get a hold of her. And then the police found her body in a shallow grave. It became clear that she had been asphyxiated. So the truth of the matter was, once the show aired, her boyfriend was humiliated. He broke up with her. He was super angry over all of these things coming out. And we know this because he later confessed to all of this. He wanted some of her winnings. He believed that he deserved a cut of it. So what he did is he assaulted her and then he ended her. And he thought nobody would ever discover this if he buried the body. He was sentenced to life in prison. And I think nobody deserves this. I think this is absolutely heartbreaking. Despite this insane, horrifying, super sad story, the show continued to run for years.
I just found out that chicken nuggets don't actually exist. Chicken nuggets are actually just rotisserie chickens that they do a bunch of stuff to in factories. Like, they'll mush them up and get them into a paste, and then they'll turn the paste into chicken nugget little things, and then they'll put breading on them, and then we'll buy them and we'll eat them, and there's nothing more.
Can you imagine buying a beach house with no beach access? Well, that's exactly what happened to this couple who bought this beach house. Literally, gorgeous views. They can see the ocean. Gorgeous views. They're right on the beach. But they're not. They're on top of the mountain. So they had a great idea. Let's build a spiral staircase straight down, and we can literally get on the beach. And they even built a beach hut on the beach itself. So people are saying, this is a great idea. Yeah, this looks awesome. Now they can access the beach even though they bought it, no beach access. Well, the problem is when you try to go up, I mean, you're talking about a football field long, literally, to get up all those stairs. So yes, you can enjoy the beach going down, and what a great idea. But going back up those stairs is crazy. Imagine, like, just walking straight up that. It's absolutely wild. What do you think of that? If you own that house, would you do the same thing?
News is getting very hard to trust. ABC News just put out a wild headline saying that the FBI warned that Iran was going to attack California with drones in retaliation for sparking this war. Now, many people are saying, how the heck would Iran even bomb California? How would they get drones there? And this is what they said. They recently acquired information that as early as February, so they didn't even let us know, they're telling us now, I wonder why. In February, Iran allegedly aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unnamed aerial vehicles from an unidentified vessel off the coast of the United States. And they tell us 2 days ago that Iran could be activating sleeper cells and everyone needs to be careful. And all of these encrypted messages they're intercepting and everything is unidentified and unspecified. We're not hearing or seeing anything. We're just being told a couple sentences that's freaking everyone out. In my opinion, it feels like they're just releasing these because most Americans aren't happy with what we're doing in Iran. But if you release this type of headline, people are going to get scared and emotional, and they're going to start, maybe in their hopes, agreeing that we should keep bombing Iran. Again, who knows? At the end of the day, it is a war, but this...
You have this in your car, the government can take it over at any moment.
Don't forget that the CIA can take over your car's steering at any moment.
Yep.
Yeah, look at Vault 7. These are released CIA documents. If you own an Audi, a BMW, a Jeep, a Ford, or a Honda, your car operates on the QNX system.
Yep.
So be careful what you say in your car. Literally. Anyways, this is my hybrid. And, yeah. Luckily, I don't own one of those. But, it does make you think. How many people have died in weird car accidents, right?
The race to find these is on. Someone just did it. A 2026 half dollar was found in the wild. There's a picture. These new half dollars everyone's looking for, with a face value of only 50 cents. These are now averaging between $5 and $10 each. This one had 10 bids and sold for $9 a couple days ago. Do the math, everyone. Each one is worth 50 cents and they're averaging 5 to 10. People are going so crazy for these because this is the first design change in so long. Every half dollar since 1964 has been this exact design, John F. Kennedy. But for 2026, the Mint is releasing these special coins for the 250th anniversary. And again, 1 year only. And look, it says explore the circulating coins right here. This is the dime. There's the nickel. Here's the $50 I was just talking about. There will be 5 different quarter designs coming out. This one's Gettysburg, a Constitution quarter, a Declaration of Independence quarter, a Revolutionary War quarter, and the Mayflower Compact quarter. Keep your eyes out for all of these because they are starting to hit.
The game people say relate to Jeffrey Epstein and the rich elites, whole thing of being taken. Do you remember this game, BioShock?
Okay, I have seen that.
The whole game, it's about the rich elites, really rich Americans specifically.
Okay.
They live in an underwater world.
Yeah.
Almost like the island, water. All of the monsters they fight are little
You're lying.
What ties it all together to Epstein is wild because there's a machine in the game that reveals fortunes. And it's called Epstein the Swami. And look what it looks like.
In the game.
I'm not even...
Oh, hell.
You know what I'm saying though? You pretty much talk to it and it will give you like quotes. And these are some of the quotes it says.
Oh, my.
Darling, just close your eyes and hope it's over quickly.
No.
Darling, just close your eyes and hope it's over quickly. Believe me when I tell you, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes.
Look at the bright side. Maybe it'll be quick and painless.
No, bro.
Have you picked a plot picked out yet? That means like, have you picked a spot to...
Yeah,
like a plot.
Even crazier, what if those are actually emails?
It could be like some of the conversations.
That's what I'm saying.
We should put those quotes into
In
the files,
the
and
files.
look. And look.
Yeah.
You can see your past life in a mirror.
Wait,
there's a
that's-
ritual. You can go look into a mirror. You're supposed to draw like a certain symbol.
Okay.
And people said they've done this before. Like this is
Word.
going viral in like Asia.
Really?
I don't know how real this is or if it's just like folklore, but you draw a certain symbol and you're supposed to bring it into a reflection. It could either be like a lake, it could be just a clear water, pond, whatever.
Yeah.
Or you can go to a mirror and you bring it to the mirror. I think you're supposed to say a few words.
Okay.
And then by the time you say the last phrase,
Yeah.
who you see in the mirror is supposed to be who you were in your past life.
Really?
Like you see the face of the person in your past life.
Damn.
I think China has that well.
Oh, yeah. And people were crying.
People are crying.
Yeah.
So that's very similar. It almost opens a portal because people say like reflections open portals. So if you put 2 mirrors together, it becomes an infinite loop and it opens the portals for spirits or whatever energies come. There's this mom that had a diary and she wrote every single day what happened that day.
Yeah.
In one of the passages that she wrote, hey, today is blah, 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 blah. Today feels weird because it feels like I'm remembering someone's birthday, but I don't remember who. But I know it's somebody's birthday today. And it feels like I know someone's birthday today. Now check this out. This is where it gets so scary. So she wrote that in her diary on February 28th. Now, she found this diary again, like when she's way, way, way older. And she wrote this long, long time ago. That date ended up becoming the day she gave birth to her daughter.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
That's
she remembered her daughter's birthday way before she had a daughter.
That's called something. Phonetic? Really?
Prophetic.
Oh, Kim Jong-un has got some serious FOMO right now. 22 countries have now got militarily involved in the Middle East. But somehow, North Korea is not one of them. So, just to make sure that the world doesn't forget, he has bombs too. Yesterday, Kimmy, along with his daughter, personally oversaw the test of the strategic cruise missiles which they fired from their new 5,000-ton naval destroyer warship. And after they successfully struck some random islands off North Korea's west coast, their state media described it as a massive success. Bro even went on to do a photo op with his daughter and test out a bunch of the military's guns. Just a classic bring your daughter to work day. Now look, Kim, I don't know how we tell you this, but we've moved on to other supreme leaders now. I mean, it's not you. You're still hella scary and all of that. They just got the Strait of Hormuz, and it's massive. I hope you can understand.
Sometimes people think if a train platform looks empty at night, it just means you missed the last train. That's the mistake. If you're standing alone on a subway platform and you hear another set of footsteps echo behind you, do not turn around immediately. Stop walking and listen first, because underground platforms carry sound strangely. First, check the timing. If you stop walking and the footsteps behind you, just take one more step before stopping too. Do not look back yet. Most people turn around right then. That's how distance get measured. Second, watch the tracks. If there's no train coming, but you hear gravel shifting down in the tunnel, do not move closer to the edge of the platform. Stay near the wall. People who stop closest said the same thing later. The sound didn't come from the tunnel. It came from the tracks directly below them. Third, leave the platform. Do not wait for the next train. Do not sit on the benches. If the lights flicker once and the footsteps behind you start again, but slower this time, do not turn around to see who it is. Just walk towards the exit stairs, because when a platform is empty but footsteps keep matching yours, there's a reason you never saw anyone arrive. Some things don't come down the stairs. They climb up from the tracks.
Found his plane. Did you see that?
Plane?
Epstein's abandoned plane.
Where?
It's in like an airplane graveyard. What the? One of the things they found in the plane, similar to Diddy.
Oil?
No, not even oil.
Oh, what the?
Baby powder.
Baby powder?
Hella baby powder though, like a lot of baby powder. And then there's like a satellite phone. What people are calling for is the FBI or investigators to do like a DNA test there.
Okay.
Because they haven't. It's literally just in a graveyard site for a
because
plane.
imagine how much DNA is in that plane. What have they been doing in that plane?
Exactly, right?
But the Diddy stuff, did they put something in the oil? Did
Yeah,
they make,
they
oh,
put
they
Yeah, I think it's
Okay,
called.
that
And
kind
then
of-
that's like a that makes you in like slow.
Then probably, yeah, you can mix anything in powder, fam.
There's so many puzzle pieces that you just kind of have to build the picture together. So
Oh.
baby powder, okay, boom. These
Yeah.
guys want to live forever. They eat.
Alright.
Boom. They want to live forever and look young. They look like vampires. Why are they so pale?
Vampires.
This kid doesn't know his energy is affecting his environment. Watch this. This kid's pretty much the real life avatar that Last Airbender is.
Baby, what you wishing for? Maybe you should
We're
wish
powerful
more.
beings, y'all. They don't want us to know
Maybe
that.
the world is
They weird.
yours.
Clones have apparently been taking over Hollywood for years. Jim Carrey isn't the only celebrity that's been circled by conspiracy theorists. Before him, I was getting constant videos about Selena Gomez being replaced. People clock her different appearance and voice, which others say is due to her battle with lupus. There's also videos like this one where people think it looks like she's wearing a mask. One theory says the real Selena passed away during a transplant operation in 2017, and the person we think is Selena is a genetically engineered replica. Avril Lavigne also has a similar theory that's been circulating since as early as 2005. It claims that Avril was struggling with fame and began using a body double named Melissa. At some point, the real Avril is said to have died, so the record company replaced her with Melissa full-time. People say they dress differently and have slightly different appearances. Britney Spears was allegedly replaced by a clone. Following her 2007 breakdown and conservatorship, fans noticed subtle changes in appearance, such as facial structure, different teeth, and inconsistent tattoos. They also use this to explain her strange behavior on social media. Paul McCartney has been accused of being a clone since 1969. Following the release of the Beatles' Abbey Road, fans were convinced that John Lennon was saying, "I buried Paul" in Strawberry Fields Forever. They claimed that he was killed in a car accident and replaced with a lookalike. Theorists believe that Taylor Swift is the clone of a former satanic priestess named Zena LaVey. Zena was the daughter of the founder of the Church of Satan. There's not much proof other than people saying that's how she got so famous, and that the two look similar, which I kinda see it. So literally, this has been happening for decades. Let me know in the comments if you think there's any truth to it.
Why does this Beatles album cover have dismembered baby dolls, raw meat, and them wearing butcher smock?
We thought these ankle blasters were a good idea until they literally like hit your ankle. You would lift it up and then it would swerve, hit your ankle, and your ankle would just be done. You were done. We always thought that we'd be like really good at this game, but we weren't. This part went around your like ankle/foot, and then you would swing it around and jump over it. Kind of like a jump rope, but not like a jump rope for your feet. Yeah, I don't know anyone who is good at this. We all had this little trampoline. You would think you could do some like flips on it, but you just couldn't. It was just too little. The bounce wasn't there. You always got excited when you saw this until you used it. You would get skin burn to the max. Do you guys remember these blow pens? You'd stick one of the ends in your mouth and blow into it, and then the ink would come out. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. I don't know who thought it was a good idea. I'm sure someone sucked in and then got some ink in their mouth, but who knows? The best game that ever came out, I still have my Game Boy, was the Game Boy. Game Boy, still. Super Mario Land. That's what I would play.